On June 15, 1985, it was quite a regular day at the Hermitage Museum in Saint Petersburg. There were art enthusiasts of various ages and styles, elderly art critics, students trying to come up with ideas for their next paper, and children who came to admire the more impressive war paintings. One of the main exhibits in the museum was Rembrandt's Danaë. This piece, valued at over 300 millions, was clearly worth every gaze. Rembrandt's Danaë, 1636, is a Baroque masterpiece depicting the mythological Danaë reclining on an opulent bed, illuminated by a golden ray of light sent by Zeus, who appears as divine light. The painting at the Hermitage showcased Rembrandt's chiaroscuro technique, emphasizing sensuality and natural beauty. While a student stood and took notes, a person swiftly passed by, jumping over the security ropes. He was not intending to admire or view the artwork up close. No, in his hand was a knife. This man, shocking onlookers, began to destroy the priceless artwork, violently stabbing and slashing in the fury and cruelty, ruining Danaë. Witnesses recall the shocking moment where the knife struck the painting, targeting Danaë's figure, with most attention directed towards her nude body. But even when security rushed to stop this madman, even when onlookers watched the destruction of this historical fragment, the man did not stop. He pulled a bottle from his pocket and poured sulfuric acid on the painting. This act shocked the world, and when the criminal was caught, Danaë remained hanging, completely stained. Then the world learned that the man was Bronius Maigys, a Lithuanian citizen. But who was Maigys, and what drove him to destroy this magnificent piece of art? Before this fateful event in June 1985, Maigys was not known to the general public. In fact, few knew that such a person even existed. However, his name quickly began to be compared to famous historical figures, those who sought to leave a mark at any cost. Maigys was likened to Herostratus, who burned the temple of Artemis in Ephesus, and Emperor Nero, who, according to legends, set Rome on fire. Born in 1937 in a new village, Molėtai district, Lithuania, had limited formal education, having completed only 4 years of school. There is little information about his early life and upbringing, making it difficult to provide a detailed description of his childhood. Before this brutal attack, Maigys has been unemployed for 7 years and had lived without official registration, as required by a Soviet law, for 2 years. In later interviews, Maigys claimed that he was not afraid of the consequences. He had no doubts about this attack. In fact, he had considered a much worse option, a suicide bombing. Under his clothes, he hid an explosive device, but at the last moment, he changed his mind, fearing innocent bystanders in the museum. When the world recovered from the attack, Maigys was put on trial. However, the verdict was something no one expected. In August 1985, the Leningrad Regional Court ruled that Maigys was not responsible for his actions due to chronic schizophrenia. Instead of a prison sentence, Maigys was sent involuntary psychical treatment. He spent 4 years in a psychiatric hospital in Kaliningrad region, far from his native Lithuania. When Lithuania regained independence in the 1990s, Maigys returned to his homeland, living quietly in retirement in Utena. Here, he existed in relative obscurity, detached from the attention he had once sought. Although Maigys now lives in relative anonymity, his past soon caught up with him. In 1993, when the media began to dig into the truth behind this infamous act, a new narrative about him formed. Some saw him as a tragic figure, a man whose schizophrenia was pushed to the limit by the circumstances of his life. Others, especially Lithuanian nationalists, view his attack on the painting as an act of revenge against the Soviet occupiers. They claim that Maigys was a hero, avenging the Soviet occupation of Lithuania and challenging the powerful state that oppressed his nation. Over time, Bronius Maigys' story became more than just a crime. It became a symbol of resistance, rebellion, and a nation's complex struggle for identity. The restoration of Danaë, however, took 12 long years. Today, visitors to the Hermitage can still see the painting. Although it's covered by bulletproof glass, it remains a testament both to Rembrandt's genius and to Maigys' rebellious spirit. What more can be said about Maigys? His final years were marked by quiet solitude. He lived the rest of his life almost invisible to the public, remaining a mysterious and controversial figure. Bronius Maigys was a man consumed by inner turmoil. He never spoke of love, never dreamed of having a family, and never imagined himself as a father. His detachment from human connection reflected his infamous attack. Whether intentionally or instinctively, he cut through the sensitive parts of Rembrandt's Danaë, a violent gesture aimed at the image of intimacy and beauty. However, Maigys insisted that the attack of the painting was not assault on art, but rather a personal act of revenge against the Soviet system, which he believed had abandoned its people. He rejected all other interpretations, holding steadfast to his version of the truth. In 1996, he convinced himself that Danaë had already been restored and was once again on display. The reality revealed to him by a Russian journalist in 1997 was much harsher. The restoration was still ongoing, a meticulous process that drained resources for over a decade. Upon realizing this truth, Maigys withdrew into silence and refused to engage with any journalist. When a Russian TV crew followed him to his care facility, he locked himself in his room, enduring the presence in complete isolation. Even when an Estonian journalist offered him $200 for an interview, knowing the international value of the story, Maigys still refused. In 1999, Maigys openly expressed hostility towards the media. When a Lithuanian journalist visited the care home and tried to photograph him, he reacted angrily, pouring juice over the photographer and threatening legal action if his image were published. His threats carried a menacing tone. "If you don't stop, I'll do something truly worth the world's attention." This was not the first time he had made such claims. That night, music echoed from his locked room until it suddenly stopped, and his voice whispered, "Leave me alone, evil spirits." Despite his isolation, Maigys remained active in the care home. At 62, he was one of the most industrious residents, waking up early to tend to his affairs. Drawing on his experience at the Kaunas radio factory, he scoured the Utena market for old radios and televisions. While he had once been known for his meticulousness, his new hobby occasionally caused friction with the cleaning staff. However, he never sought open conflict. He shared a room with a quiet, seldom present roommate, which suited him. Maigys preferred dim lighting, as his vision was deteriorating, though he refused to wear glasses regularly. He spent hours reading history books and even paid an elderly woman to read to him. Despite his notorious past, other residents spoke positively of him. He rarely participated in social activities, but helped older neighbors when needed. His two brothers lived in Utena, but he never spoke of them. At social events, he would listen to music but never danced or sang. The women in the care home found him attractive, tall, slim, with silver hair, but he completely ignored their attention. When dressing for special occasions, he wore a perfectly tailored black suit, a stark contrast to the used clothes worn by other residents. Maigys never accepted charity, preferring simple yet neat clothing. He was very cautious about his health, refusing alcohol and tobacco. While he claimed his health was falling, the head nurse admitted that if all residents were like him, she would have little work. His medical file was practically untouched over the 7 years. Unlike many who had sleep problems, Maigys never requested help, sedative medication. When the flu ravaged the care home, he locked himself in his room, even speaking to the staff through the door. One thing is clear: Bronius Maigys was a true rebel against all systems, a partisan against the Soviet machine. In the end, the question remains: was Bronius Maigys a madman, a hero, or something else? His life and actions continue to be a topic of debate today, as they persist in haunting both the art world and Lithuania's history. What do you think? Was Maigys a misunderstood figure or a dangerous criminal? Share your opinions in the comments. Thank you for watching the story about Bronius Maigys to the end. Honestly, I like you the most. But shh, don't tell the others. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Everything earns you karma points. That's all for now. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and until next time.